Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? There's Django. What kind of dog is Django, Julie?
A Manchester Terrier.
Manchester Terrier.
Terrier.
Terrier. Isn't that great?
Isn't he adorable?
He is, and is that as big as they get?
Yes, that's the maximum size. So a lot of people think they're a miniature Doberman.
Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Jay is with him here. Jay brought in his dog Django with Dr. Julie Schell, and we're talking food today.
Absolutely.
Very important thing to understand. Obviously, when it's important what we eat, it's just as important what our pets eat.
That's right.
Does pet food go bad? Is there an expiry date?
It can. There's always an expiry date on the good quality pet food bags. You just want to kind of look for it and make sure that you do not feed your pet past that expiry date.
There it is. Just show Nick right here, and they'll have it right there. So it is. It just has. Just like you would expect in regular food, there's an expiry date.
That's right.
And you went, and tell us a little bit about when it comes to pets in general, what do people need to know about pet food?
Well, the most important thing is to speak with your veterinarian about it. We are the front lines, and we see a lot of diseases based on nutritional excesses or nutritional deficiencies, and so we do a lot of research into what types of foods are adequate for our patients. We want them to live the longest. And so what we find is that the companies that are very reputable have wonderful research, training, education facilities where they really do a good job in developing and making sure that their food is very, very healthy.
Okay, when I was a kid, I have to be honest with you, you know they had that, do they still have Gravy Train?
Yes.
Does it exist?
Things like that, yes.
It kind of looked good to me. I thought, oh, I'd eat that.
Or the artificial color and flavor. Yeah.
Now, wet food versus dry food, what do you see is better?
Well, I figure that probably a combination of both is the best, because wet food is wonderful for making the pet feel full. It has a lot of water. Water is a very important nutrient for animals. And also the wet food is sometimes easier for certain animals to digest than the dry food. Dry food I really like, though, for keeping the teeth a bit cleaner. And it has a nice fibrous level in it, and so it helps control the bowel movements a little bit better than the canned food can.
Who doesn't want controlled bowel movements?
That's right.
Tell me about if I'm looking at a label on food, what am I looking for? What do I want?
One of the most important things to look for is the 1-800 number or a website where you can actually phone into places and ask for direction, ask for some help. The other thing that's always
listed... Will they be on that? Can I see?
Absolutely.
Does this have one on it?
Yep, they always... Well, the good companies do have it.
So there's yours right here. Yeah, okay. And
right there.
800 numbers, websites?
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
And the other important thing to have is a list of the ingredients, and based on that, they will also have like a minimum guaranteed analysis or a maximum guaranteed analysis of the food product. That's very difficult because sometimes people think, oh, if beef is listed as the first source in the ingredient list, then it must be a very good quality food. But you have to look further and figure out what the nutrition is and what the exact substances are that are in that beef. Like, is it just a bunch of water and that's why it's listed first? Because beef is very heavy, it's very full of liquid, and so obviously if it weighs more, it'll be listed higher in the ingredient list. And so you should kind of look a bit further and ask questions at the 1-800 number to see what the actual nutritional value is.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, now can I look at here? So here is an example of guaranteed analysis. So this is what you're talking about here.
That's right.
What does that mean? What am I looking for in these things?
Basically, it's a bit difficult to understand. They should have minimum. I like minimum values a bit because then it will have at least that. It might have a little bit more. Sometimes if they label it as a maximum value, then it might have much less than what is labeled. For instance, it might say maximum 15%, but really there might only be like 10% protein in that.
What does crude protein mean?
Crude protein is basically the whole level of protein that is in the food once it's all dried out. And it's not really based on like body weight, or sorry, water. The protein weight and water content. And so
where would they get that from? Crude protein. What does that mean? What's in there?
It's basically the amino acid level in the food, and they will analyze the different like fat, protein levels, carbohydrate levels, fiber levels, and moisture levels.
Oh, it's chicken liver. That's where a lot of that comes from.
A lot of it is chicken or beef sources.
Is that right?
For most pet foods.
That's where most of it comes from. Okay.
Absolutely.
What else do you like people to look for when they're coming in for this sort of a thing?
I like to tell them that it's better if there is no artificial flavor and artificial coloring. It's not normal for a dog to be eating a fluorescent pink product. You don't see those in the wild. And so when you get a bag of cookies and it looks kind of a strange color, like, does my dog really need that? Does it need something that it's not necessary for him to feel good when he's eating it? Usually the foods are all AAFCO associated, so that means that there's like a guideline that they have to go by, so there's minimum standards, and so if they do have those minimum standards, it is always a bit better of a food. But it is so confusing because there's pictures of things, they say things like natural, organic, and you're like, well, what does that mean? So to get a better interpretation, it's always better to talk to your veterinarian or at least phone the 1-800 number line to get a better idea.
What about, and I was noticing on the notes here, you said cat foods must have taurine. What is that?
Yes, that is an essential amino acid for cats. It helps with their heart development. And back in the old ages, a lot of pet foods never had added taurine. And so a lot of cats were developing a lot of cardiomyopathies, like a lot of heart defects. And so now it's vital that all cat foods have that taurine added.
And will it usually say pretty clearly on there that it is?
Absolutely, yeah. If it's a good quality food, it'll have taurine added.
I love that. Okay, yeah. Melamine is bad. Why don't you like?
Melamine is bad. That was the contaminant that was accidentally, or perhaps it was even sabotage. They added it to some pet foods. It was the wheat gluten that was contaminated with melamine, and so that was that whole pet food scandal and that whole pet food scare last year. And so you will never see that listed as an ingredient because it should not be in pet food.
Right.
So it's impossible, of course, to know if the pet food has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to trust the pet food manufacturer that you're feeding. And so if you trust the manufacturer and if they are very high quality, then they should have really good quality controls and standards.
Another thing you said here, foods labeled for use in all life stages. What does that mean? Yeah,
that's kind of a scary thing because sometimes you will get a food that says this is going to be good for all life stages, meaning a puppy, a senior, an adult. And really, if it is labeled as for use in all of those categories, there could actually be too high levels of protein or too high levels of fat for a senior dog and not quite enough for a puppy. And so we feel that the better quality pet foods for animals are more lifestyle associated. So if you have a puppy, you should be feeding it a puppy diet. If you have a senior pet, you should be feeding it a senior diet. It has just better ingredients, better levels of protein for the senior body or the puppy body.
You went on a trip.
Yes.
Tell us about the trip, and you brought some pictures.
It was great. We got to go to Topeka, Kansas, which is where the Hills Nutrition Center is, and they do a ton of development and research in their products, and I was very impressed with that. They showed us...
This is you on the trampoline?
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
They showed us the various research centers where they will literally monitor the pets throughout their whole life. No animal is killed at all there. They live like the life of Riley. They're sitting there in a natural home type environment. They're getting lots of attention, but the researchers are just seeing how they do while they are fed the new foods. They're testing for palatability, making sure the cats enjoy it. Yeah. It was an absolutely wonderful center.
Look at this.
And we left there realizing that the prescription diets, the Hills diets, are really, really well done, and I'm really proud to be offering those types of products to my patients.
Okay, now we're going to take one look at one more picture. This is the last one now.
Yes.
Everybody at home, sit down for this. You must be sitting down for this because they bring foods in there, and they bring animal meats, and they have to reject some.
That's right.
Because it doesn't reach the standards of pet food. If it's rejected, where does that meat go?
It goes to the human chains. There's actually some of these fast food franchises that will accept meat that is refused from pet food companies and use it in our food. Yes.
Next time you're at the drive-thru and you're ordering something delicious, just think, the cat food people rejected this. I'm eating it right now. How about that?
Yes,
okay, and you can do some things at home. I want to show off your grass picture because this is sort of fun. This is what you guys do. Explain what it is.
Yeah, we can grow salad for our pets. Cats really like to eat grass, and one of the main reasons that they do go outside is to nibble on some grass, and nobody really knows why they do it. Some people think that it helps in the digestion of hairballs and passing hairballs through, but a lot of times if your cat is strictly indoors, it's better to improve their environment by growing some salad for them, and it's simply oatgrass seeds. You can plant some seeds in a little pot and just water it every few days, and within about a week's time it'll grow and the cat will chow it down. Yeah, we do that for our boarding center, and a lot of cats love it. Yep, within about a week it'll start sprouting. Yes.
Just like that.
It's amazing. Yeah.
20 seconds left. We have a website left. What can we find out on the website, Julie?
Well, there's some really good information there. You can actually enter topics, and if you have questions about nutrition, you can answer. You can get those questions answered. But definitely go to a lot of the good quality pet food websites, and they will give you a lot of excellent information, and talk to your veterinarian to help you determine what best food to give your pet.
And if you're at the fast food stores today, enjoy that burger.
Yeah.
Good of you to come by, Julie. Thank you. Jay, thanks for coming by. Good to have you with us here. Nice job. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we're telling you who's going to have a night on the town in our town, or at least how to enter.
More people have chosen